Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is gonna be in English, so I'm gonna be sure to talk slower so that it's easier for you to understand what I'm saying. But I just think the more I think about teaching English, the more I realize how important it is for you guys to be surrounded with the English language. So I decided that I'm gonna do more videos in English, not all the time, but a lot of the times my videos will be in English. So anyway, I was just sitting here and editing my video that just went live not too long ago, the last one that I posted about my journey with English, and I'm actually sitting here eating my breakfast, as you can see. So anyway, I was editing this video and it just started to bring back so many memories of how I used to speak English versus how I speak English now. And I just randomly decided to film a video and share some of the most common words that I've been mispronouncing, and I've been corrected, and I now pronounce them the right way, but I have made mistakes in the past with these words. And these are very simple and easy and common words in the English language. So if after living in the United States for 14 years, I was still making some of these mistakes, then there's a good chance that you guys may be making these mistakes as well. There's also a good chance that you are not making these mistakes, but I think you will still take something away from this video. If anything, you could at least practice your listening skills. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the lesson because this is gonna be a good one. So I hope you watch it till the very end. Okay, so I've actually got my phone on me because I wrote down all these words that I used to mispronounce, these easy words. These are very, very simple words that I was pronouncing wrongly for so many years until somebody finally corrected me. So the first word is this one, the one that you see right now on your screen. I'm actually embarrassed to admit, and I said this in my last video, up until my 8th year or 9th year in the United States, I used to pronounce this word as says. So obviously I watched movies and shows in English. I have heard native speakers say says, but I never realized I was pronouncing it differently. And one day a coworker at work actually corrected me. She said, "Honey, you don't say says, you say says. That is the proper way to pronounce this word." And it just hit me. I was like, oh my God, all these years I've been saying it wrong. So it's a very common word, and I hear a lot of Russian speakers, because I speak Russian and a lot of my students are Russian speakers. They say says, and I find myself correcting them often with this word. So I hope you guys are going to start saying says. So here is how this word would sound in a sentence. She says she's happy. She says she's happy. So remember, it's not she says she's happy, it's she says she's happy. So we completely drop the y sound in that word. It just goes away altogether and it just sounds as says. Okay, this next word is also a little tricky, but also super duper common in English. And that is the word you see on your screens right now. So you may be thinking, how could anyone mispronounce this word? Well, I was mispronouncing it until once again, I got corrected by somebody. And the word actually is not every, like most people say, or most people think it should be said. The word actually is pronounced as every, every. And now I'm gonna say it a little faster, every, every. So that letter in the middle, the letter E in the middle, actually does not get pronounced in this word. Instead of saying every, we only have 2 syllables in this word. It's every, every, every. So this is how it would sound in a sentence. I like every single one of her songs. I like every single one of her songs. Once again, you guys, we do not pronounce the letter E in the middle. It actually just gets completely dropped and we say every. So this next word, I just caught myself mispronouncing it actually a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed how my husband pronounces it, and for the record, he has been pronouncing this word correctly and I have been wrong. So I just heard him say it, and then I actually looked it up and I started paying close attention to how all native speakers said this word, and I realized, oops, sorry, the sounds of the city. And I actually realized that I've been mispronouncing this word. And this word is actually very similar to the previous example. So here is the word that you see on your screens right now. So first glance, how I used to say it is family, family. Until I realized that the letter I in the middle of the word actually does not get pronounced. It gets dropped, just like in the previous example. So instead of saying family, I realized that most native speakers say family, 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 family. So it actually sounds really similar to family, so you can barely hear the difference, and I think that's why I was mispronouncing it for such a long time, but I still started to really notice that slight change, and I wanted to point something else out here at this moment, and that is that if you are not living in an English-speaking country and there's nobody to correct your mistakes, then you really need to do that for yourself. You really need to start analyzing your speech the way I did when I realized that I was mispronouncing this word. So nobody actually told me I was pronouncing it incorrectly. I caught that myself. And I double, triple checked by listening to more native speakers more closely when they were saying this word so that I could confirm that it actually is pronounced as family, family. So this is definitely something I recommend that you guys do in your English journey. And here's an example for this word. I miss my family so much. I miss my family so much. Okay, so this word, this is actually a pretty funny story. So actually, not too long ago, about a month ago, I was on a lunch break with a coworker and I said something like, bow down. Something like, oh, he wants people to bow down to him. I don't remember, but anyway, this word, bow, I said as bow, okay? So then we came back from our lunch and a little later, my coworker, my friend, actually came up to me and she was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you that the word bow is pronounced as bow. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. Because people say take a bow. I've heard that said so many times, but I had never noticed that I was making this itty bitty mistake. And I was making it, but I just never caught it. And so it's not bow down, it's bow down or take a bow. So I was just shocked that I have been, at that moment, I had been in the United States for 13 years and I was still making this mistake. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably like, oh my God, this is such an easy word. It could be, it wasn't for me. And I believe that there are still some people out there that could be pronouncing this word incorrectly. So it's not bow, it's bow. This next word actually I hear a lot of people make this mistake because they don't know how to pronounce the TH sound. So a lot of people, instead of saying think, now pay attention to where my tongue is. It's in between my teeth. Think. Okay, so I actually never made this mistake, but I hear a lot of people make this mistake, so I wanted to add this in my video. So a lot of people that don't know how to pronounce the TH sound correctly usually just replace it with the F sound. Instead of saying think, they say think. Now, I agree that it sounds very, very similar, and in regular speed speech, you may not even notice the difference. However, it's all about getting used to the proper way to pronounce it. So if you are saying think, please stop doing that and start saying think. If you need a lesson in how to pronounce TH sound properly, I actually have that lesson on my channel. I'm gonna link it right here. If you are a Russian speaker, you will be able to watch that video. Okay, this next one is interesting. So I was making a video where I was analyzing English of famous people in Russia, just because I live in Kazakhstan and we're very close to Russia, and I thought that would be interesting for my subscribers. So anyway, I was making analysis of this one singer, and in one of his videos, he actually said watching, and I believe he tries to speak more with the American accent and not the British accent. And actually, his English is really, really good. His grammar is good. Overall, his pronunciation is good. So I was truly picking on him, okay? I was trying to analyze his video in so much detail, and I caught that he was actually saying the word watch or watching, just like I said it just now, with the O sound. Now, that is how we are taught in our countries. That is how we're taught to pronounce this word, because we normally learn the British English, not the American English. However, if you are trying to learn the American accent, then we don't say watching, we say watching. So it's like the ah sound, but it's like a little bit stretched. So instead of saying watch or watch, we say watch, or watching. Here's an example in a sentence. I love watching documentaries on Netflix. I love watching documentaries on Netflix. This next word is probably the most, well, it's not the most common word in English, but it's one of the most common words in English, and that is the word don't. So when I first started speaking English, and I corrected this within my first year, but a lot of you may still be making this mistake. When I first started speaking English, I used to say don't, because in my language, in my native language, as well as my second language, which is Russian, we use the sound. Okay, now this is how natives usually pronounce this word. They say don't. So, or even when they say don't, it still sounds more American than when I used to say it. I know that sounds really weird, but I think you will hear the difference. Don't, or don't. So sometimes it's the first sound, sometimes it's the second sound, but either way, I still hear a lot of people make the same mistake that I was making when I was saying this word in my first few years of speaking English. So actually, if you pay attention, native speakers, a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying a lot of them will say don't. It's almost like there's a combination of the D sound and the Z sound, but it's a very, very slight combination. So it's not a vivid Z. It's just D, D. It's very quick. Don't. I don't like that restaurant. I don't like that restaurant. All right, you guys, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please let me know in the comments below if you have been pronouncing any of these words the wrong way. I would love to see it. Like I said, I was still making a lot of these mistakes even this year. So there is no shame in mispronouncing these words as long as you continue to work on your pronunciation and continue to try to improve it. I am here for you guys. In case you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below as well. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit that like button. And I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you have not yet subscribed. I have so much good content coming your way this year. And I hope you guys will join the family. And I will see you guys in the next lesson. Bye-bye.